We've all seen stylized rusty trucks, and they can be quite cool if done right. But the question is, are these roughly finished vehicles better than their fully painted counterparts? That's what we'll be discussing in this video, and feel free to share your opinions in the comment section. Well, hello my friends, Kevin here, and I want to discuss the trend of building an entire truck in every way, but leaving the aged and worn out body as is. For those not in the know, these projects are better known as patina trucks, and they are very popular in the lower truck scene. You may be thinking, what's patina and why is it cool? Well, patina is defined as the tarnish that builds on metals when they oxidize over time. Basically, that's what's going on here, as these trucks are literally eroding before our eyes. So yes, this is kind of wild when you think about it. These trucks are being celebrated as they are fading away. Fortunately, the aging process is slow, and we get to enjoy them for a good period of time. With that being said, I'm a firm believer that nothing lasts forever, and I think it's always great to appreciate what's in front of you now, like these trucks that are in a perfect window for unique builds. Before we get any further, let's make something clear here. There is a line that defines what is considered cool and what is not in the patina truck scene. Though that line is a little blurry, we basically want to see a truck that has been weathered by nature or run down from use, but has little actual damage. Some damage is okay, as it is inevitable, but wrecked panels or huge gaping holes are not ideal. Another thing I would like to note is that I prefer to see these trucks with one consistent look on the outside. If there are body panels or doors that are painted different colors and don't match up, to me, this is not a fluid build. Of course, this is my opinion, as all of this is subjective and should all be left to the eye of the beholder. Again, feel free to share your thoughts on this in the comment section. As the years have passed with this trend, it's well known by now that fake patina is not regarded highly. I've seen paint that you can tell has been sanded to look worn out, and it just rubs me wrong. Now sometimes this is applied to trucks where repairs are needed, and you must match panels to flow with the original parts. In those cases, faux patina may be acceptable, and that's exactly why I said the line is a bit blurry here. Now you might be wondering, how did all of this begin? Well, I believe patina style vehicles have been around since the beginning of hot rodding in the 1930s. And back then, it was all about modifying cars to go faster while aesthetics was not a necessity. Hence, it was perfectly fine to build a race vehicle that didn't have a show-winning surface. But things got more glamorous for racers with time, and it became the norm to cross the finish line in style with shiny vehicles. Around the 1960s, show finishes were all the rage, and quite honestly, I love builds from that era, as imagination was at its peak. Builders like George Barris really defined the styles of that era. Not only did he become the driving force in Customs with a K, he also led the way in bringing it all to the limelight with a few infamous builds that were showcased in Hollywood productions. I just want to take a moment to state that I think the Hirohata Merc, built by Barris, is nothing short of perfection from that period. For the next few decades, street rods dominated the show scene, with cars being prevalent. Yes, there were some trucks around, but lower pickups didn't gain big popularity until the late 80s, when automakers started to make them more car-like, with sleeker styling and smoother handling made possible with improved suspension components. That's also when we got the iconic muscle trucks that we love today. And you can click the link in the description to see a full video I did on those trucks. Anyways, hot rodders still led the way in the styling department up until the 90s, when a rebellion began. Folks started to notice that finding old coupes from the 1930s in decent shape to build was becoming a real challenge, and more of a rich man's game. So enthusiasts searched for alternatives and figured rusted vehicles might have some potential. Now there's probably not one single build that kicked things off, but it was more of a movement that progressed. Folks started to make use of rusted out vehicles by building them and keeping the bodies as is in order to make a statement that you really can hot rod on a budget. This caught on and kicked off the rat rod style, which really turned things upside down as rusted vehicles were beginning to catch big attention. Around this time, slam trucks were in their infancy and airbag trucks were even less common. Also back then, late model mini and full-size trucks were the most popular style of trucks to go low with. As far as I can remember, it was the crew at IF Customs that started slamming classic trucks and bringing them to the forefront. And yes, with all due respect to my old friends, their style was a little crude as they were innovating while they were leading everyone in this new territory. This was also when I was just starting out as a photographer in the truck scene. At the time, IF Customs was making waves, and lucky for me, I was able to be a part of it. I watched as they built some wild trucks, and I literally tagged along on many road trips with them to distant shows. And that's something of which I rarely get to participate in now, as life is a bit busy for me these days. But I'm glad to have made efforts to join in on all the fun back in the day. As the truck scene was growing, builders were looking for new ways to stand out from the crowd, and so was I. Early on, I became a big fan of hot rods and old school customs, as I live in Southern California, and that's where it all started. I was so infatuated with it that I even styled my Chevy S10 with a retro theme. At one point, I even thought about removing all the paint on my truck to have it mimic the raw style of the hot rods I enjoyed looking at. With time, old trucks got more popular, and even though there were a few patina style builds catching attention, it wasn't a massive movement. We also must keep in mind that back then, there were no mass-produced parts to airbag old trucks easily. I think it was around 2008 when I discovered a dude named Dino Battilana. Yes, the same Dino behind the huge Dino's Get Down truck show. Anyways, I found out he was working with a company called Porterbuilt to make a bag suspension for old trucks. From there, Porterbuilt used their development work to create bolt-on kits so that just about anyone with a set of tools could slam one of these haulers in the comfort of their own garage. With suspension systems becoming readily available, it was game on for builders to use these old trucks to create some jaw-dropping rides. Once the classic truck train got going, that's when Del Yushchenko of Delmo Speed & Custom started to make a name for himself out of a little shop in Burbank, California. Del is a hot rodder that dived into the truck world and built many trucks with the patina look. Though many had built trucks with patina before, Del really solidified a particular style. In a nutshell, he would take rundown old trucks and give them a new spin with a Porterbuilt bag suspension, big smoothie wheels and old dog dish hubcaps, and install LS3 engines with small block valve covers, which he coined as the Del S3 package. I believe he really paved the way for this look, and enthusiasts seemed to follow. I think what really captivated everyone was the fact that rat rod trucks were not only cheaper to build than full-done show trucks, but they also captured a bit of Americana along the way. The bumps and bruises they displayed were like portals to the days of our past. Each of these trucks is uniquely styled by the life they lived and tell a story of their past. Honestly, I love the fact that these trucks have been around for so long, and it is captivating to think of where they have been and what type of hauling they did. However, it's also a bit hard to describe what it's like to own one of these trucks, but wow is it cool! In the time that I have owned my 62 GMC, I have discovered so many clues to its previous life, and it fascinates me when I put these pieces together. On top of that, it's super cool to build them up, all while knowing they have been on this planet longer than some of us. Now that we are clear on what a patina truck is, I think the big question remains. Are patina trucks better than fully finished painted trucks? Well, to get some insight on the highest level, I gave my buddy Austin Phipps of Phipps Built in Hermiston, Oregon a call, as he built a 64 GMC, which is every bit a prime example of what a patina build looks like. This truck even competed in the 2024 SEMA Show Battle of the Builders, so yeah, it's a high-profile truck. Anyways, I asked him what his experience has been like with this truck, and he told me that basically it has been nothing short of amazing, as it got so much attention at the SEMA Show because most other projects there are painted. Since then, he has taken it to Dino's Get Down, C10 Nationals, and the C10 Slowdown, where crowds gathered around it, but no awards have been earned yet. I'd also like to note that Dino's does not have awards, so that one isn't surprising. Yes, it's nice to receive awards for your custom truck, but building them is more about personal enjoyment rather than collecting trophies. With that being said, I do believe that a finely finished painted truck will always get more attention at shows and on the road. On a related note, my 62 GMC is a bit of a sleeper, and here in Orange County, California, people think it's just an old pile of junk until I leave them in the dust. And that definitely puts a smile on my face. Getting back to my convo with Austin, he also brought up the topic of caring for a patina truck. In the past, people would clear coat these trucks to be shiny, but I think that look has become a thing of the past. When Austin did some research on doing a matte clear to give the body of his truck some depth, he found out that paint deteriorates on rusted pickups. The solution he found was a product called Sweet Patina Sauce, which is more like a preservation material you can apply to your truck. From what he said, it goes on like a wax, doesn't leave an oily residue, and adds a bit of a matte sheen. Though these patina vehicles are crusty, they will get dirty, and this stuff helps water bead off to combat this. I have not personally used this stuff, but it has definitely enhanced the look of Austin's truck. As you can see, there's no denying that slam patina trucks can look amazing, and to me, one of the best parts is that you don't have to worry about caring for sensitive paint, which will initially cost tens of thousands of dollars to add in the first place. Austin also gave me an interesting perspective on his truck. He said that if the truck were to get damaged, he could repair and paint it to salvage the build if he wants to go that direction with his rolling art. In conclusion, I think there is no clear answer whether patina trucks are better than painted trucks, and I think it all comes down to personal taste. Like I said, I think you will always get more recognition with a fully painted truck, but a patina truck comes with less worries about possible damage. I think if you have a decent looking weather truck and don't have the funds for paint, the patina style is a perfect solution for your situation. On the other hand, nothing shines like paint. Well, that just about does it for this video, and we thank you for watching it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future video, and we will catch you next time.